Thank you for joining us. Welcome to LumioseStation.
What's good, LumioseStation? Today I'm bringing you this UU match I had against a subscriber from Twitter. His name is Cody, also known as FancyCross, I guess. That's his @ on Twitter. But in the comment section of the past two Wi-Fi battles I've uploaded over here at LumioseStation, you guys have suggested me to do lower tier Wi-Fi battles like NU, PU, RU, you know, Little Cup. Like, it was majority of it was just lower tier. Now the problem with that is I'm really not good at lower tier battles. I even went on Showdown for a couple hours. I built a team in NU. I tried battling and I probably lost most of my battles because I'm just not used to lower tier battling. I need to just learn the Pokemon down there, learn what they do, and me personally, I hate looking up information while I'm in the middle of a battle. I hate looking up the speed of a certain Pokemon just to see if I outspeed it. You know, I would rather not do that, but I mean, I guess, you know, the only way I can learn is by failing, I guess. So, I mean, the fact that I lost all those battles, I guess, just taught me for next time, but still, I'm not all that good at lower tier battling, so once I actually get better, I guess, and I can actually bring you a battle I feel is entertaining enough, I guess the lowest tier I'm good at right now is UU. It's honestly kind of embarrassing, but I mean, not everyone is cut out, I guess, for NU battles and stuff like that. You know, people, you know, people might be just good at OU and UU, and honestly, my favorite tier is UU, so I'm pretty comfortable doing UU battles, so if you guys are cool with that, I'm cool with that. Either way, looking at my team, I actually ended up making this team by myself. It's not a team given to me by anyone else. I made this team all by myself, like all the Pokemon sets and everything. I did it myself. You know, this is a team of my own for once. And it's honestly not that bad of a team. It could definitely be better. It could, you know, have a few tweaks to it. But pretty much, my mindset behind it was, you know, you guys were asking me to use Scrafty. So I'm like, all right, let me use Scrafty in this battle. And I'm like, what could I do? You know, because I love bulk up Scrafty, but I feel like I don't know, I just wanted to try the Dragon Dance one since it's been a while since I tried him out. So I put Dragon Dance Scrafty in my team and I'm like, okay, well, if I put Sticky Webs on my team, Sticky Web support, I won't have to get as much Dragon Dances up to outspeed really fast Pokemon, you know? I won't need 2 Dragon Dances, I'll just need 1. I mean, of course, you know, like Levitate Pokemon and Flying Pokemon are different, but you know, I can just take those threats out before I end up setting up with Scrafty. You know, it's definitely a thing. You know, Scrafty doesn't have to get a 6-0 sweep at all. You know, as long as I can get rid of things that are a problem to him, then we can just get the sweep going. But either way, that was my mindset behind it. So I've obviously got the Galvantula for Sticky Webs. He's holding the Focus Sash and all that. So Scrafty and Galvantula are sort of like, I guess, there to support each other. You know, Scrafty is like my main sort of sweeper guy. And I have a Choice Banded Jolly Darmanitan there. Also, you know, just to, you know, be part of the Sticky Web support thing. You know, if Pokemon are slowed down because of Sticky Webs, he can be Jolly, and, you know, most things are going to go below Darmanitan's base speed of 95 or whatever. So Darmanitan will be good to just flare bits the fuck out of them. And since he's Choice Banded, I'm pretty sure it's going to OHKO most things. And then we have our Nidoking here, who is a modest Scarf Nidoking, because, you know, I'm not guaranteed to get the Sticky Webs up every battle. Someone could defog them away while my Galvantula is dead, or Rabbits up in the way. Just pretty much get rid of my Sticky Webs, and then I'll be fucked. I'll be like, okay, I can't rely on my whole team to have, you know, the whole Sticky Web mindset behind it. So I gave a Choice Scarf to my modest Nidoking, just, you know, modest so he could have some power behind him, but, you know, Choice Scarf just so he could outspeed some things if I didn't manage to get my Sticky Webs up. And then, of course, Quagsire and Moongus are there to support each other. They're sort of my bulkier guys. You know, they both have some sort of way of reliable coverage, so they're great. It's a pretty nice little team. I feel like I just didn't have as much bulk as I would usually have, and I feel like that sort of screws me over quite a bit because I'm used to just running a bunch of bulky Pokemon. And I will say one of the biggest downfalls of my team is that I have absolutely no priority moves. But looking at Cody's team, I think the most annoying Pokemon in his team for me, you know, just looking at it, is going to be his Ambipom, because that thing's obviously going to run Fake Out, and I'm like, well, my Galvantula's holding a Focus Sash and I want to get my Sticky Webs up, so if he fakes me out, then my Focus Sash is broken, then he can like Last Resort me or whatever the hell he wants to do and kill my Galvantula before I even get my Sticky Webs up. So I definitely think that I thought at the time that his Ambipom would be the most annoying thing on his team, as well as his Heracross, and Mega Banette I didn't really seem to care about, but you guys will see later on in the battle I do have a bit of a problem with Mega Banette. Either way, let's go ahead and get into the battle. The introduction has been long enough. So I'm going to lead off with my physically defensive Quagsire, predicting my opponent Cody to lead off with his Ambipom to fake me out, and I'm just like, you know what, if he does that, I can take it decently. It's the best thing I have to take it. you know, maybe, you know, fucking Amoongus might have been the best to take it because, you know, he's got Regenerator and I can just swap out to get his health back, whereas I actually have to use a move to get Quagstar's health back. But you know what, it's whatever. Either way, he leads off with his Braviary and he U-turns out into Neptune. And I'm like, you know what, he's probably just predicting, you know, me to just use Scald right here, which I do. And I'm like, okay, well, he might switch out now predicting Earthquake, because, I mean, when he had his Braviary out, I wasn't going to predict him to switch into his Neptune because I'm like, he has no reason to. But yeah, I go for the Earthquake here, thinking he's going to switch out again, and this guy whips out a Grass Knot on me and demolishes my Quagsire. I have never in my life seen a Grass Knot Empoleon. I don't know if that's something special he made himself or not. I'm sure it's common, or it's just been a thing beforehand, but either way, that caught me off guard. But now I think it's a perfect time to send my Galvantula, get my Sticky Webs up, because, you know, he doesn't want to stay in and get his Empoleon bodied by a Thunder. So I'm going to get my Sticky Webs up finally, and on there, you know, he switches into the Ambipom so he can fake me out and stuff like that. But now, like I said, you know, this guy right here, my Amoongus, is a good sort of switching, you could say, or whatever. It's a decent counter to Ambipom, because I can take a hit or two. Even though I'm especially defensive Amoongus, I can take some hits. So he goes for the double hit here. It does some really hard damage. I mean, I am especially defensive after all. If I was physical defensive, I would have took that a bit better. Either way, I lived the hit. That's all that matters. And I go for a Spore here. Now, right here, I do actually misclick, which really does suck for me. But honestly, in the end, the misclick does not matter, because at this point, I was trying to sack off my Amoongus, sort of, kind of, because I didn't really feel like I had any use for it by looking at his team. So there we go. There's that misclick again, which again does suck for me. But either way, like I said, it doesn't end up mattering because his Ambipom ends up being asleep for quite a while. I go for the Giga Drain, Giga. Is it Giga Drain? I don't know exactly how you pronounce it. Either way, I go for the Giga Drain there, get some health back, and yeah, he's just asleep again. But I was just, like I said, I was just trying to sack off my Amoongus here. It may not have been the brightest idea for me to sack him off. I just honestly didn't see any use for my Amoongus at this point. And like after that, all I had was a bunch of offensive ass Pokemon. You know, I didn't really have any bulk after Amoongus and Quagsire went down. So Quagsire going down when he did was really huge for me. But either way, the Ambipom wakes up here, goes for the double hit, and he ends up fainting to the Life Orb that I completely forgot he had. So this right here was a terrible play by me. If I remembered he had Life Orb, I definitely could have Synthesis there and got some health back, switched him out, and, you know, kept him for later. Either way, I go for the Spore, trying to put him to sleep so then I could Synthesis. But I forgot, like I said, he had the Life Orb and ended up taking him out. So right here, I'm going to end up sacking off my Amoongus to this Mega Banette. Because, you know, this thing's just going to Shadow Sneak me. And this is where I wish I had some sort of priority. This is why Scrafty needs to have fucking Sucker Punch Game Free. Come on now. I do have an illegal Scrafty of my own with Sucker Punch. I have this thing called Cyber Save Editor. I'm thinking I should actually bring illegal Wi-Fi Battle. So Lumiose, by the way, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Either way, he does end up with the Shadow Sneak there, taking out my, what's his face, Amoongus, which really sucks for me. But I'm going to bring in Sup here. I'm guessing he just decided to sack this thing off because he didn't really see any use for it other than, I guess, for my Scrafty, which he could probably deal with some other Pokemon. So Braviary just goes down. He probably thought I was Volt Switching out there, and you know, he could die to Volt Switch, and you know, he could then, you know, I could bring in something else and he could just bring in a Pokemon to deal with that. But nope, I go for the Thunder, and I get slapped by a Sucker Punch, and I miss a Thunder. Even though I'm Compound Eyes, I think the accuracy of that move gets put up to 91% with Compound Eyes. I miss the Thunder, which really does blow for me. Now, predicting the Sucker Punch here, I switch into the amount of time, but this Mega Banette right here is definitely adamant. It's doing a number to my team, and Mega Banette is just such an awesome Mega. I think it's really just underestimated most of the time, and honestly, just because of that, I underestimate it a lot too. And it's the same as Scrafty, because a lot of people talk shit on the Pokemon or just don't really seem to use it. I always underestimate it, because I'm like, it must not be all that great of a Pokemon. So since I don't really see Scrafty being used other than myself using it, I guess I just underestimate him, and I always get podied. But either way, I bring in Scrafty to deal with the Mega Banette and stuff like that. So, you know, I predict him switch out, go for the Dragon Dance, completely forget that Heracross existed. I actually ended up doing some damage calcs here to see if I could end up taking this thing out in any sort of way with my Life Orb plus my +1 attack. I know I'm gonna outspeed him too, since he's got the Sticky Webs. You know, it's the whole reason why Scrafty Sticky Web supports is there. But yeah, I apparently couldn't OHO him by any sort of means, and I'm like, I don't want my Scrafty to die here yet. So he goes for the Mega Horn. on my Galvantula because I swapped him out because I want to keep my Scrafty around for later. And then I bring in my Darmanitan to deal with the Heracross, and I'm like, I completely forgot this guy could switch out. So I just go for the Flare Blitz, really reckless of me because I do end up losing a lot, and I mean a lot of HP to the point where my Darmanitan only has one more Flare Blitz left in him, and I'm gonna have to use that Flare Blitz wisely because I don't want to waste it on this thing, because if I use it, Sucker Punch is just gonna body me. That's just gonna be the case. I'm gonna get destroyed by a Sucker Punch. This is where the Mega Manette's being a bit of a pain in the ass to me, you know. This Mega Manette is definitely fucking me up left and right, and I'm worried I'm gonna get burned by this thing, but then I remember, oh wait, I've got, you know, Shed Skin, so burning me shouldn't be too big of a deal. Either way, he goes for the Sucker Punch there, and I switch into my Scrafty. Now I decide to bring in Bitches the Nidoking, predicting his Heracross switch in, which he does end up switching to the Heracross, so that was a nice prediction by me. And I did more damage calcs, you know, since I'm not a Life Orb Nidoking, I can't really, you know, Oko him by any sort of means. I'm just the modest with Choice Scarf, so I go for the Sludge Wave, trying to get as much damage off as I can. And he ends up Earthquaking here, taking out my Nidoking, which was really unfortunate for me, but I don't think Nidoking was mandatory for my victory by any sort of means. He was just there to do some hard damage to something. He gets the hard damage off in the Heracross, which is good. So now I bring in the Dimension, and I'm going to go for the Rock Slide here because I don't want to Flare Blitz and end up Okoing myself. And I was thinking I should Superpower, but I was confident he was switching in to the Mega Banana, and I just wanted to get some damage off on, so I go for the Rock Slide. I missed the Rock Slide. He ends up switching into Callum, so a Superpower right there would have been perfect because you guys are about to see why, honestly. So, you know, since he's got the Sticky Webs dropping his speed, he goes for the Dragon Dance. Now I know him and I are equal in speed, and since I'm Life Orbed, I'm like, okay, I can probably Oko a Scrafty if he doesn't have any sort of speed investments, and if I do win the possible speed tie here. So I go for the Drain Punch, and he has a Focus Sash. I did make a few bad plays during this battle, but that honestly is the thing that just sort of sold it for me. Like at this point, I knew I'd lost because all I have left is my Darmanitan, and he still has the Mega Man out with the Sucker Punch. So no matter what here, he's going to win. Which I sorry if I spoiled it for. It should be obvious, you know. It should be obvious to you guys that no matter what, he's pretty much going to win here. So yeah, that really does blow for me. I did make a few bad plays though. I definitely should have superpowered when you know, he switched into a Scrafty. I could have took it down to Sash before, switched into my own Scrafty, or finished him off even with another superpower, and then, you know, dealt with the Banette and stuff, and then dealt with the Heracross with the Flare Blitz. It could have went, you know, my way if I just used superpower rather than Rock Slide, and the Rock Slide missed too, which is another, you know, thing. You know, if I hit the Rock Slide, his Sash would have been broken. So yeah, that miss in the Rock Slide and me not using superpower definitely mattered during that battle. But either way, I'm not too salty about it. You know, it's hacks. Pokemon, hacks is gonna happen, and I'm not salty about it at all. It was a good game either way. Both of us played well, but hacks ended up getting the better of me, and of course he played amazingly too. So good game to him. His Twitter should be in the description below if you want to go challenge him or something like that. He's a pretty good guy. I'm assuming he's a good battler because he put up a good fight there. But yeah, either way, hopefully you guys enjoyed. You should go ahead and drop a like at me if you did, and till then, I'm out.